Hello and welcome to Secrets Mystery Manor. I'm your host, Psychic Zelda Kelly. Warning: this podcast may contain sensitive material. It is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer and listening discretion is advised. A dark time in history fell upon Massachusetts in the late 1600s. Several young girls accused many locals of being possessed by the devil and using dark magic. Two of these young girls were Elizabeth Parris, age 9, daughter of the Reverend Samuel Parris, the Puritan minister of Salem, and his niece, Abigail Williams, age 11. The Reverend Parris enslaved a young teenage girl, Titubus, from Central Europe. Titubus was a woman of color and from a different culture, likely to be indigenous. He bought her in Barbados and brought her to Massachusetts in 1680 to care for Elizabeth and Abigail. It was Titubus that kicked off the Salem witch hunts and was the first to be accused of witchcraft in Salem, Massachusetts. She told of witches' covens with explosive details of evil animals, spirits, and the devil's book that overtook a group of girls in 1692. Elizabeth and Abigail were playing with fortune-telling when they were overcome with many symptoms of being possessed, and Tituba denied being involved and said she had nothing to do with it. Tituba was the first to be arrested and spent 13 months in the witches' jail as the Reverend refused to post her bail. She later recanted her story, and an anonymous person paid her bail, and she went free. Over the next few months, many were arrested, accused, and died in the dungeons or were executed. The youngest arrested was Dorothy Dorcas Good, age 4, who spent 8 months in the witches' jail before she was released, with her mother, Sarah Good, who was later executed. Altogether, there were 4 execution dates. Of those 4 execution dates, 19 women and men died by hanging from a tree at Proctor's Ledge. On June 10th of 1692, the first to hang was Bridget Bishop. On July 19th of 1692, Rebecca Nurse, Sarah Good, Susanna Martin, Sarah Wilds, and Elizabeth Howe were executed. 4 men and 1 woman were hanged on August 19, 1692. John Proctor, John Willard, George Jacob Sr., Reverend George Burroughs, and Martha Carrier. September 22, 1692 was the final date of executions in which 8 were hanged. Martha Corey, Giles Corey, Alice Parker, Margaret Scott, Anne Pudiator, Mary Parker, Samuel Wardwell, and Wilmot Red. Giles Corey was the 71-year-old husband of Martha Corey, who was punished by being pressed to death by heavy stones. This was because he refused to enter an innocent or guilty plea to the court. 4 others were convicted but died in the jails and waiting for execution dates, suffering under unbearable conditions. Lydia Dustin, Sarah Osborne, Roger Toothaker, and Anne Forrester succumbed. Those who were executed were denied proper Christian burials and their bodies thrown into a shallow grave. However, the families of George Jacobs, John Proctor, and Rebecca Nurse were retrieved and given Christian burials elsewhere, usually undisclosed. None of the alleged were burned at the stake, as many were during the European witch hunts of the 15th century Europe. There were also 2 dogs executed for their suspicious involvement with those accused of witchcraft. Today, historians feel the Puritans accused many that were of low income and had vendettas against others. On January 15th of 1697, the Puritans held a day of prayer in recognition of their errors in their ways. This is known as the Day of Official Humiliation to plead with God to forgive them. The trials were declared unlawful, and in 1702 it took over 250 years for the Massachusetts state to formally apologize in 1957 for the events of 1692 and 1693. The city of Salem dedicated Proctor's Ledge as a memorial to the victims that were executed by hanging there. So what happened to Tituba, you ask? The state of Massachusetts gave the accused of Salem their property and restitution. Since Tituba was an enslaved woman with no rights and no property, she was given nothing and disappeared from that point on from any historical records. There are folklores and fictional tales about her, but all have never been factualized. In this episode of Secrets Mystery Manor, we will be asking for any information that will come through. This will be based on historical facts and to be interpreted individually by you and for your entertainment. Let's begin. Welcome to Secrets Mystery Manor. Hello and welcome everyone to this episode of Secrets Mystery Manor. We are going to look at the Witches of Salem trial, that witch hunt. That intro bothered me. I've got to tell you, I could hardly write that. I could hardly read it. I could hardly record it. It just resonated. If you have ever been to Salem, you know that town carries this hurtful sadness as much as they try to overcome, as much as things, it's a beautiful city, but there's a huge sadness there. I was there and I actually saw an entity, I guess I'm going to say a spirit of someone in the main court. It's like a little central park area, and I was with a group of people, and I was trying to talk to this person. I thought it was an actor that was walking around, and they have those in different historical places. And when I was saying hello, people were looking at me like I was out of there. The next thing I know, this person had kind of a long, dark cape on. It was a female, had a bonnet on that was kind of a dull white print. And she turned around and looked at me and just left, disappeared. That bothered me. That bothered me. I don't know why, but that did. I visited a very famous, I'm going to say a practitioner's, shop there. And that was a lot of fun. I got to see Eye of Newt. That was a lot of fun. A lot of the people that I was with, including my husband, was too bothered to go in. I'm not married to him, but at that time, he was too bothered to go in. The people that we were with were very bothered and could not go in, and they were worried about me and all that, and they just don't even know. They don't really know the truth about that sort of thing. All I can say is, if these people were really the witches that they said they were, the demonic ones, they probably wouldn't have gotten away with an eighth of what they did to these people. It's very sad. There's a lot of backstories about a lot of these people. Maybe we can see what's going on. So here's our tools for today. And give me a second. I'm reaching for my salt. And I made a little video about salt a little earlier. I have 3 types of salt here. I have table salt, Himalayan, and the coarse sea salt. And in this application, this is always my favorite. And I'm just going to sprinkle a little around my cloth here. A little dab will do you. And a little bit on my cards and on my pendulums. So that's it. And there's a really nifty little saying that goes along with this, and that is, salt doesn't hurt, salt doesn't lie, but salt will only purify. So that's going to help any negativity that comes along. Okay, so I'm going to say that this is kind of a cross between a little mini paranormal investigation and a reading to see if we can just pick up any information about what's going on. So I have my tarot. This is the Rider-Waite tarot deck. Oh boy, how appropriate is that card, right? The Rider-Waite tarot. I have my medieval cartomancy deck. That's from the Elephant Playing Card Company. We're going to set that over here. I have a Piatnik deck, and this is considered to be old, written in 6 different languages, and we may pick up some things through this. I have a rose quartz pendulum, and I have an onyx pendulum. So, I say, without further ado, let's get started. How's that? So we're going to shuffle. Now, I'm not going to call in any entities. This card fell out. I'm not going to call in any entities. What I'm going to do is call on that energy of the Salem, Massachusetts Witch Trials. There's too many of those entities, and I don't want anybody hanging out here. But what we're going to do is call on that energy, because that energy of that time and place and even of those people are still here. It's like taking a photograph of someone that lives on. Energy cannot be destroyed or created. So when we leave this earth plane, I personally believe that you leave this energy behind, and many times in a paranormal investigation, we pick up on that energy more times than not. And so we can call on that energy to give us the cards that we want and need. And you see some of the names that were in the introduction. If I hear a name, I'm going to call it out. Now, just as an I'm just going to say, I am here by myself and my cloud of kitties. We're fine. Everybody is relaxed. I'm looking around, so nothing is here, and that's the way we want to keep it. So we're going to call on the energy of Salem, Massachusetts, angels, guides, spirits. We ask for any guidance that you can give us through the Salem, Massachusetts Witch Trials. Any energy from those people, those victims, those innocent ones. There's cards. Oh boy, there's cards falling out. We thank you. We ask for any more information. There's one more. Let's see what that one is. Okay. We ask for your help and your guidance, your direction. Oh, there went a lot. I don't know if I want to count those or not. That hit my thumb, so I'm not going to count those. We're going to pick those back up. This one did fall out. See, this is it. The perils of doing this and recording it live without editing. And that's exactly what this is, okay? So, as we go forward, there's more that fell out. Oh, almost the same ones. Wow. Wow. And the Justice card. I don't know if you're seeing this or not. Justice. There we are. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change my camera angle. I'll be right back. Okay? That's all I'm going to do because I want you to have a better scape of this. I'll be right back. My apologies for that. I was really excited to bring this to you, but I'm back. And look at the cards that came out. I did not do anything more with the cards. I did not. I just want you to have a better angle to see this. And my apologies once again. I was just excited to bring this to you and wasn't thinking. Now I'm going to have to start thinking, right? Here's a Justice card. So let's get started. Let's see what's going on here. Obviously, I believe, and I've always believed, that there was money involved. A lot of these people that were wrongly accused and allegedly thought of as witches. You see, this is kind of a benevolent card. Oops, I'm sorry. This is kind of a benevolent card here, where you're giving to those who are in need, and this is a balance. And of course, it takes money. But you see, the majority, isn't this amazing? I'm just amazed. But the majority of these people that were accused were indigent. They did not have money. Most of the women were considered, well, very frolicking with the men, this sort of thing, right? So it tells me here that we are on the right track of getting some of this energy in. Now, as we know, there is a lot of guilt that goes along with this energy. Tons of guilt. And that was decided in 1702, as the introduction said. So I'm going to just say that this Devil card is self-explanatory in this situation because that is the subject at hand. And this Ace of Swords is a timing card. And it looks as though, and you can see, it also fits in very well with this Justice card. It is a timing card, a sword card, and basically says within a short period of time is what I'm getting. This happened, which was in about a year's time. The Ace of Pentacles, that was the giving of funds. That was a time when, after this was all over, that the state of Massachusetts gave back the money, gave back the property and the belongings of these people. This represents that card. This represents that time, rather. This is long-term thinking. This right here was thinking of the future now. That time period can never be erased. Many people have turned their back on it. Many people have chosen to move on because, I mean, after all, that was what, 400 plus years ago already? And time usually heals all wounds, but not in this case. This is a very interesting card. And this card, I'm going to say really, and it came out, I think this correlates with this card. And I think it correlates with this justice, of wanting justice. Because, you know, in this particular Nine of Cups card can mean the same as the Nine of Hearts. But there's one more little element here. This person is sitting here, very accomplished, very judgmental, displaying the cups like trophies. And there are 9. Now, there were 19 men and women who were executed, but there are 9 here. And very interestingly, I think as we go through here, we're going to get more information, but this card coming so close with this card, I'm still amazed at this. I know you probably are too. Coming so close to this card can mean that there were a lot of emotional games that had been accomplished. That is a sad meaning that goes along with this. We're going to leave these out and we're going to keep going, okay? We're going to just keep going. I mean, after all, I think we're on a roll here with this energy. So let's keep going. And we'll see. And then we're going to pick up the pendulum. Okay, energy of Salem, Mass. Energy of Salem, Mass. There we go. 2 more. Well, look at this. The High Priestess card came out. This 2 of Pentacles, the Queen of Swords, and the 4 of Pentacles. Now, or I'm sorry, the 4 of Cups. Now, I'm really just reading this as they did this in the name of religion. They did this in the name of spirituality, which is really quite ridiculous in many cases. And for those of you who are as me or like me, and you're in the paranormal field and you're in the psychic sciences and metaphysical field and all of those good things, I could not help but during the reading and the research that I've done in this story, but wonder, what if this happened now? How many of us would be held accountable for things? Something to think about, right? So this was done in the name of religion. Now, this is very interesting. This 2 of Pentacles can actually mean juggling things back and forth. And you know, this is an infinity sign here. Now, my interpretation of this whole thing, of this particular card being beside this High Priestess, is that, friends, if you can believe that, my camera shut off in the middle of this. So we're picking up a lot of energy, and my camera is using a lot of juice. So I've got my plug-in ready just in case we need it, okay? Back to where we were talking. This was done in the name of religion. But I'm interpreting this as not so much a money card, but an infinity symbol of where this dark time in history with Massachusetts, it's going to go on and on. It's going to be there. There's nothing we can do to turn back the clock or erase history. Pardon me. This particular card, this Queen of Swords, is this energy. You can see there's a benevolence there. This energy for her, it shows that there was a willingness to negotiate, to defend themselves. And do you know that most of the people, the innocent people, the alleged people, were not allowed to even have any counsel? They had to defend themselves. Rebecca Nurse, she was a 71-year-old woman who had to defend herself. They could not afford representation. Thus, it comes with this card. They were not in a position, and a lot of people were not in a position for the representation. In fact, I want you to know that a jury acquitted her, and they wanted to ask some more questions. She was very hard of hearing and could not understand the one question that she had, and she misspoke. And it sounded as though she was involved with what she was accused in doing, and they changed the verdict and found her guilty. Her family begged and pleaded, and she was one of the ones that the family took her after the execution. Such a sad, sad time. Anyway, This looks as though it's a sad time here too. I'm interpreting this card as trying to negotiate, trying to work through things, trying to understand, trying to work through this. And that was a hard thing to do. I mean, as we look forward into the future, this is a time where we cannot turn our back on this. So let's see what other cards we can come up with. Then we're going to do a little bit of pendulum work, see if our camera holds up. So any more messages for our dear friends? Any more messages, spirits, guides, angels? We're asking for the energy of the Salem Witch Trials. Any understanding that you can give us or confirmation? There were 2 more cards. Actually 4. There were choices that were made and a not so good path. The stability of the Knight of Pentacles means that this was done in the, I'm interpreting as a choice. It was done. There was no stability. This sword card here basically means that, if you can look at that stained glass window, let me see if I can get that up there for you. Someone there in prayer confessing. That's really something. And this Chariot card, this is definitely the wrong path that this area took. So I want to get the Cartomancy, the playing card deck, so we're not taking too long of your time. Angels, guides, spirits, whatever you can tell us, please. There's one. We'll turn that over. Any other messages, please, that you can give us, please and thank you. Okay, I actually have my foot. I'm on a wooden table. I actually have my foot on the table grounding myself because I'm hearing knocking. Now, I don't know if you can hear it. You may or may not be able to. If you cannot, in a situation like this, I'm not going to go investigate. And it's not because I have fear. I don't. But I do not want that energy hanging around. And sometimes a knocking like that is an invitation to open the door, to stay. No, we don't want that. We don't want that. No. So, oh boy, that's an excellent card. Now, that in all reality means a loving, sharing, caring, wonderful card that would be in a loving relationship. I'm going to pull another couple of cards here. I didn't have to. They came out. So I'm going to interpret these. Wow. I'm sorry. I just keep saying wow because this is amazing. And this is love. And it can represent family. And as this card here can too. Family, loving, caring, sharing time. But this is a separation card. This 2 of spades, separation, end of a relationship, end of a time. So this separated the people from their family. This is a card that means sacrifices and times where, so these people did make a sacrifice. And once again, that is a money card. These people, I think what they were getting the message is they were indigent. They suffered not only in their lives, but then now during that time. Very, very sad. Let's try. I'm hoping that you get to see the pendulum. I'm going to use the quartz because it is a loving pendulum. You might be able to see that. Yeah, I think you can. Now, it is at a rest position right now. And the pendulum, if it goes to the clockwise, it means yes. If it goes counterclockwise, it is my no. And it is this is in a rest position. And if it goes back and forth, it is a maybe. Now let me get a better grip on this with my finger, because you know it does work with the energy of your fingers. Okay. Now I want you to see my hand because I don't want you to think that I'm moving it. Okay, there we go. It is resting now. Now pendulum, can you, will you, are you connecting to the energy of the Salem Witch Trials? Can you tell us? Oh, that was me dropping it. My bad. Sorry. Okay. Can you connect to the energy of the Salem Witch Trials and of these people? Pendulum, please rest and answer my question. Can you connect to the energy? There we go. It is yes. Now, I don't know if you can see this, but it's a confusing energy. Oh, wow. Okay, there we go. There's some energy there. And it's going clockwise and counterclockwise all at the same time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this negative 2 cards here because I want a blank slate. And I'm going to push these other cards up here. And hopefully you can see this. Okay. Pendulum, thank you very much. Please rest. We're going to ask you, can you pick up on this energy from the Salem Witch Trials? Yes. Thank you, Pendulum. Do we have energy here that can maybe answer a question? Okay, it looks like yes, but here's what I'm going to do. Thank you, Pendulum. I'm going to use my black onyx, okay? This is a rose quartz. I want to negate because I'm feeling a lot of energy here, and I mean a lot. My kitties are all like on point, looking around. So, and this is my salt, by the way, folks, here. So it's not dirt, it's my salt. Okay, so let's do this. Can you see this? Here, we're going to turn this love card over so maybe you can see this go a lot better. There we go. Now this pendulum has got a lot of energy in it. Hello, Pendulum. Nice to see you. Thank you so much. Let me move my hand there so you can see. Pendulum, will you please give us the yes number? Your yes answer, please. Thank you very much. You may rest now. And will you please give me your no answer? Oops, that was me. I'm sorry, I moved. Okay, please give me, oh, you rested. All right, Pendulum, can you please let me move my hand back into place where it can feel the energy. I'm trying to do this so you can see it. Okay, can you please give us your no answer? Please and thank you. Okay, thank you very much. You may rest now. Okay, we're going to do a little demonstration here. And this is a positive card. So we're going to ask the Pendulum. Pendulum, my bad. Pendulum, can you please, that's me moving. Sorry, my hand is in a really weird position. Let's try this again. Pendulum, can you please point to the 9 of Cups? We'll give you a minute here, Pendulum. Please point directly to the 9 of Cups. If you could swing a little harder, please, so our folks and our friends can see this, I would appreciate it. Can you please swing a little harder toward the Nine of Cups? It's going dormant. I'm wondering if the energy is not here. All right, thank you, Pendulum. We're going to try this. Now that's me moving. Okay, here we go. Ready? This is another technique that I use, and is 1, 2, 3. That picks up on energy. There we go. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please rest. All right. If you could please point to the Nine of Cups. I think you needed that little energy bob there, didn't you? Okay. I think we're getting that. Okay. So the last question, so we don't drag this out, Pendulum, is there forgiveness in what has happened here at the Salem Witch Trials? I think that's a yes. Will this ever happen again? No. There's a lot of energy here, isn't there, Pendulum? Yes. Okay. And no. Keeps going yes and no. The other one did too. Oh, you do not have to keep pointing at this Nine of Cups. My apologies. Thank you so much. You may stop that now. Now, Pendulum, please rest. You may rest. Thank you very much, Pendulum. All right. Now, my friends, one more thing I'm going to do. I don't want to make this video too long. I'm going to put those cards away. We're going to leave these cards here, and we're going to use this Piotnet deck just to see if we can get, all right, for the energy of Salem Witchcraft, the Salem Witch Trials, the Salem Witch Hunts. Do you have a message for us, please? Please and thank you. Do you have a message? There we go. Fidelity with a cross. The money keeps coming up, and I think it's because the state of Massachusetts paid people. They gave them back their property and their money. But, you know, that card there, there's a sweetheart. Let's see. What else can you tell us? I think there really is some good, if anybody can ever find any that can come out of this. 2 cards came out, and it shows hope. Visit and hope. And you know, I think I'm going to leave it there, my friends. I think there's a lot of hope, and especially in Salem, that maybe someday they can come over this. Isn't this appropriate, though? A woman standing on the shore. Salem is very close to the water with a boat in the background. And I'd like to pull one more. Let's do one more shuffle with the tarot. Thank you, guides, angels. Can you please give us any more energy regarding the Salem Witch Trials? A final message for everyone. Final message, please. Final message. There, this card came out. Conflict. Lots of conflict. And I think that is the message that we are getting with the Hierophant, keeping spiritual. And I think in the end, we can look back and see what had happened and what is wronged, so we never do this or have this happen again. But I want to thank you all for being here with me during this time. I think this was very interesting, and I really enjoyed bringing this to you. I hope you did too. This is the first time I've done this. We'll do it again. If you all like it, please let me know. And if you would please like and subscribe, that would mean a lot to me. So I want to thank you again for being at Secrets Mystery Manor. You have a wonderful, wonderful week, a weekend, and I wish you all the best and have a brave heart. You be well and you take care from me and my kitty cloud to you and yours. Be well. Take care now. Thanks for watching. See you again next time.